the phone rings and it's the big call. It's Man United.
Like that first moment. Can you remember where you were, what you were doing when the first moment came?
The first time I heard about it was a bit like, no, it's not possible. It's like you don't really believe it, to be honest.
How many Instagram followers did you get overnight?
Oh,
yeah,
ridiculous amounts, guaranteed.
Yeah, I think I started with like 10k, and then after, the first week it was almost like 700-800. Yeah.
You mentioned you're a Man United fan growing up. If you could pick a player from your youth to play with today, who would you say? Do you know what? When I was a kid, I loved watching him.
It's a pretty easy answer, to be honest. Like.
Senne, welcome to the Fozcast. You're 23 games into your Manchester United career so far. I need to know how you are able to be so calm and so composed playing for one of the biggest teams in the world, because your start to life at this football club has been nothing short of exceptional.
First of all, thanks for having me. It's always an honor. Like I've told it a couple of times, like I can't really imagine it going any better than it did. So, but also when I made the move, I'm a big advocate of not really trying to look too much forward or like try to look at all the stuff. Like of course, big pressure on goalkeeper of Manchester United. Also with the past, which wasn't the easiest, but I think kind of like trusting in myself a little bit, and also seeing it as an opportunity to come in and to directly make a name for myself and to show to the people that I belong here.
Do you think it's one of your biggest skills, one of your biggest attributes? Because you've got to be a good goalkeeper to play in the Premier League, full stop, right? But to play for Man United, you have to have a little bit more. And then, for me, it's just between the ears.
Well, Ben, we said on the way up, didn't we? We were chatting on the way up, and you said you're a similar age, Senne, to when I joined, and you said like it was just like so different for you.
This is why I wanted to come in with this question, because I was so far away from where you are at 23, and to see it up close, mate, is phenomenal. It really is.
But then again, I don't know. It's not really anything I'm trying to think about, or like it's more or less just when you step onto the pitch, not really thinking about it. Yeah, it sounds like ridiculous and like easy, but it's probably the way I am a little bit. Yeah, you have
must
to
be
like
an unbelievably hard skill set. It sounds such a basic thing to say to not think about it.
It's what you need to do is you need to almost not care as much. Yeah. And it sounds bad when you say that, because you think, no, you're playing for Man. You want to care, you care surely, but it's a bad thing to care too much, isn't it?
It is sometimes that you want to like try to show yourself in certain situations, or like you said, like you really want to do well, and then I think things are a little bit like going bad. That's also, I think, when I made my debut, I didn't do crazy stuff or like unbelievable things, but like you said, like I think the crowd saw the ease and the calmness I brought, and like I looked calm and like ready in the situation, and then I just let whatever came to me. I just did my job, I think, and that's, I think, also a bit of a where the trust comes, I think, from my teammates and from the fans, with not really trying to do crazy stuff, but also when I have to be there, I can show up and perform.
After that Sunderland game, did you have a little look at yourself and think, I can do this? Yeah, of course. And also on the other side of it, I think I played quite well, but I didn't do amazing stuff. So that also, all the support I got gave me even more feeling that I like, okay, when in the future I do even more, like great saves and stuff, I get even more praise. So it also made me believe in myself even more, I think, because of the praise I got.
Have you done any work with any like psychologists or anything like that? Or is it just something from your point of view that you've always been pretty resilient?
I think it's a funny thing, actually. Like my dad always jokes about it. When I grew up, I was such a different character. Like till the age of 12, I was so outspoken and like doing all crazy stuff. My brother he's older than me, and I always like went with him and his friends, and they always tried to make me do stuff like as a young kid, and you always did it, like the craziest stuff, getting into all kind of trouble. And then, so when I got to Bruges, my first year, I went to boarding school, and then it just changed my whole, like, a little bit my personality, because it's all new, all like so big, and so it's like your dream also. So that made me a little bit like more into introverted and stuff. So I had a bit of difficulties when I first came into the first team, because I was so like introverted and not really spoken out. And then, I mean, of course, as a young guy, you come into the first team and you look at, even in Bruges, like big names in Belgium. Training with them, like you want to perform, and sometimes when you don't train that well, it can be really like difficult to like keep your confidence high. So I think in those times, like 16, 17, 18 years old, I think I had a couple of times I met up with a psychologist to help me with that. Since then, it's not really a lot of psychologists I saw. It's just a bit more of like, getting used to it. And I think confidence also grows with if you perform and if you keep doing well, it grows. So, and I think it's just probably more my character nowadays, which makes me feel and seem more relaxed and calm.
It's that kind of North European, it's that mentality. I've played with a lot of kind of Danish players like yourself. What's that little area called with the Dutch and the Danish and...
The Benelux, yeah.
Benelux, yeah. So that, I think it's that mentality where you're quite headstrong people, aren't you? But calm with it at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like... sometimes though, like the Dutch guys can be also like... You have a couple of... Like Belgium and Netherlands is like a little bit similar, but you have also a lot of different types of, just like the way people are. Yeah. I think like if you talk about like, for example, Van der Sar, which I've spoken a couple of times about like, and people told me also like similar character and stuff, which I also like take pride in, and probably for me as well as a goalkeeper, you kind of have to be a little bit like that. You don't always want to be like this. You always want to be steady, especially if you want to have a long career at a club like this. So I think that's also, and like you say, growing up a little bit, the area probably is also Belgium, and like tough people working hard, not really saying a lot of stuff, or like the biggest outspoken people.
Just get on with it.
Yeah, like just work hard and then you'll get.
But as a quite a chilled and I guess, guy, what about communication on the pitch? Is that something that has come naturally to you? Because when I remember, honestly, I've been with Ben since we were doing like the Cycling GK. We've been friends since we were kids. But I remember watching back the Cycling GK footage, the map footage, and just listening to him talking constantly, thinking, like, oh my God, I'd love to be your defender. You're just narrating me through the game. Is that something you've had to work on, or does that come quite naturally?
Yeah, it's actually probably one of my biggest... things I had to work on. Like I said, growing up and when I was just coming into the first team, you're playing with guys like you've always dreamt of playing with and like looking up to all your whole life. Like I said before, it grows with confidence a bit as well. Because if you're not confident in yourself, it's difficult to give a lot of coaching to other people. So I think, that's also, it's funny that you say that, because I was thinking about why I loved watching you, and like the Cycling GK was probably, like you said, like watching it from behind the scenes a little bit, and like a little bit how you see the game in your eyes, and be from behind the goal then, because those things you don't really see on TV and on like other things. So that's probably also why I watched it, to learn a little bit about.
How old would you have been when the Cycling GK?
Probably 16.
Yeah, does that make you feel old?
Yeah, sorry. So I did not.
Yeah, a little bit actually. Yeah, it does a little
16,
bit.
17, I think. Yeah, so that was right in that timing where I'm not really too much into like watching a lot of football games, but like those things where you see from behind the scenes a little bit, and how people prepare the game, especially another goalkeeper at that level, I've always been really interested in, and that's probably why I watched it a lot of times, because you really saw your way of preparing the game, how you went about it, which, like I said, you don't really see on TV and on like other stuff. So
I think this is why I opened the podcast with that question about how at 23 you've got this mentality, because I only discovered how to be like the matchday vlogs when I'd probably say late 20s, even probably 30, once I'd started having children and I started to see a bigger picture and realise that football wasn't the be-all and end-all. But I remember being your age at 23 and everything mattered. Everything was so important. Yeah. And you'd make the smallest mistake and that was it. Your world would blow apart. It was a horrible time. It really was.
Yeah. So like I would also say a little bit like I like sometimes reading books about other athletes, how they like deal with certain adversities and setbacks, and I'm like a big Kobe Bryant fan. I think everyone can learn a lot of stuff from him, like working stuff and how he did his craft and how he learned from his mistakes and stuff. So I think that can also help you in your career. It's helped me especially, like you said, making mistakes. I think one of his quotes was like, even if you play a good or a bad game, tomorrow you're still gonna be at training and you're still gonna try to improve. So like, it's always a bit of like, of course, making mistakes is really hard, and you always want to do better, but also getting over that and seeing the big picture. That's not the end all be all.
So he was a completely different animal.
He's a beast.
Wasn't he? He was like...
What are you like away from football then? What are your interests? What are your hobbies? What are you into? Because I'm not getting a picture of a typical footballer here.
No, I actually love other sports, like apart from football. The last couple of months I've been quite a lot into golf as well, to like get me outside of the game of football a little bit. Because like I said, I love playing other sports, but it's also physically... Some other sports, like I'm playing padel, I love playing padel as well, but it's not always easy to do it after training or when you have a busy schedule. But like hitting some golf balls is not really the hardest thing to do physically, and you can like tap out a little bit mentally. And also it's like quite addicted to just getting the feeling of getting better. It's probably also why I think the most fun thing about being a professional athlete is just, and also if you see my last years, just seeing the progress and seeing where you came from is so addicting, and that's why you want to keep going.
Good, isn't it? Just little by little, every day, just something, a little bit more. Just could be something in the gym, it could be anything, couldn't it?
And then, like, you're working on some saves or some things, and then it just happens in training, and it starts to click, and then that feeling is just like, that's why you do it.
And you're big into recovery. One of the guys was telling me that you're at the training ground a lot because of the recovery aspect.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm also alone here at the minute, living here, so I'll try to just take my time a little bit. I don't really want to be home at like 1 and doing nothing the rest of my day, so I try to like, I mean, we have the capabilities and the like swimming pool, sauna, ice bath. We have it here, so why not like take full use of it? So I try to take my time with it, and I'm probably always or most of the time the last guy here. Which I'm not saying it to like big up myself. I know if I have children and a wife at home waiting for me, I'll probably hurry up a little bit more too.
All your friends are here, basically.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
that's how it is, though, isn't it? It's true. All your friends are here. Yeah. You're from Flanders, right? So Flanders is famous for cycling, isn't it, Tom?
Massive, yeah.
So it seems to me like you might need to invest in a nice bike. I'll show you what you need to get, right?
I don't think the club will like that, Ben.
I don't think the club will like that, mate. We'll keep it quiet, though, all right? Yeah, we'll keep it quiet.
If I see him rolling round on one of these vlogs with you, the phone's going to be going, mate.
Mate, 100%. You'll come out on the bike with me. I'll show you where to go, right? Put your hat on, your helmet, your gloves, your glasses. Sorry, nobody knows who you are.
You just exposed me on like.
If you see a 6'4" guy rolling round Manchester, on an S-Works or a Canyon or something.
Senne, we're going to get geeky goalkeeper, all right? These are always my favourite podcasts because I just feel goalies, we have a bit more in common. And when we go into the geekery, I can see the smile on your face already. It's nice because you can go down a rabbit hole, right? So a lot of people find it super interesting, our connection with our goalkeeper gloves, okay? You wear a brand called Real, yeah? Real. For the listeners at home, can you explain how you get ready for a match day with your goalkeeper gloves? So when do you break them open? When do you first wear them? How do you wash them? All the details.
So I probably wear a new one every game at the minute.
Yeah.
Can change a little bit. It's like how I feel at the moment. Playing 1 game a week normally, which if I played with one pair, I'll train with them the whole week until the day before the game. Then I'll start wearing a new pair.
So Friday, you'll break a new pair.
So if you play Saturday, I'm training with them Friday.
Yeah.
But before the training, I like to get them in the jacuzzi, which the guys like.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, no, I actually got it from Simon Mignolet.
Yeah, okay.
He does it as well. Just like how new gloves feel.
Yeah.
They're like really if you don't stiff. It's a bit stiff. The grip is not great, so I like to get them in there for like half an hour, which makes them all.
No, so hold on. I
need to say in the jacuzzi.
Yeah, are you wearing them sat there?
No, I just
and they say goalies are mad.
No, I just like right before a meeting I put them in, and then after the meeting I take them out.
Yeah,
and that's when so I do the session with them, the full session the day before the game. Then I'll wear them the whole warming up for the game, and then I'll wear them for the game.
There's something special about having a new pair of gloves on, isn't there? Yeah. That Friday, right, when they've just been washed and you've wringed them out, because there's always like this bit of soap in the latex. There's a bit of soap in the latex, right? And if you just go straight into training, it's a bit slippy. Yeah. But when you've washed them and you've wrung them out, the feeling on your palms.
Who did we speaking to recently? And they said they have a new pair of gloves every game because every game it's a fresh start.
Oh my! Who?
Arthur Okonkwo at Wrexham, wasn't it?
So it goes into the mental part of goalkeeping is a new pair of gloves because those gloves haven't been scored past.
Oh wow, yeah.
But you can understand it, couldn't you?
Yeah. It's like you're saying, like on a Friday when you wear those new gloves, it just makes the training feel so much better, and like it gives you such a better feeling of like you said, wearing new ones, and the grip is just like so good and makes you ready for the game as well.
And it's clean as well. And when you're training in the same pair of gloves all week, you take them off at the end of training. The smell's rotten. It's like vinegar. But on that first day, the Friday especially, it's just so clean. And it's a lovely, lovely moment it is.
And am I right in saying you've got the numbers 8 and 24 on your gloves? Can you tell us about the meaning behind that?
Yeah. So, like I said before, like when I was about like 17, 18, I was trying to see some mental coaches and stuff, and also read some books about it, about the alter ego. I read a book about it because for me, like you said, personality-wise, I'm really introverted and like a little bit like on my own, not really. But then when you're on the pitch as a goalkeeper, you have to be really like speaking a lot, being aggressive, being there, that your teammates be ready. So it was for me difficult to that person off the pitch and the person on the pitch. So that's when someone recommended me the book of an alter ego. It's like the idea of when you step onto the pitch, sort of like tap into another person, another like personality identity, which makes you like get faster in the zone and makes you more, like I said, coaching wise and verbal and really aggressive when it needs to be. And I got them probably in the book. It says like to look at some of your idols and see and like take some things from what they were doing in their career. And like I said, Kobe Bryant is I'm a big fan of his, and like he was probably one of my biggest idols. And he wore the number 8 and 24, and his whole thing was like the Mamba mentality, which was like on the pitch he was a killer, like no one could talk to him. He's just like so I kind of like got it from there a little bit. So it reminded me when I wore the gloves and I look at them, like sometimes in the games you look at them and then so it kind of makes me reset a little bit. And
it's amazing how you say about Kobe. I remember watching the documentary about the American team and when he played against Pau Gasol.
Yeah.
So are we going to see you like going charging KDB or something when you play against?
I mean, maybe when I play for Belgium against a teammate of mine.
He plays for Napoli in the World
Cup.
No, I'm thinking but they're Belgian teammates. Yeah. But you described that, whether or not you probably realise it, but you almost describe an alter ego you had where you said to me you'd go on the pitch and go, you didn't mean it. They're not. They need me. They're rubbish. They need me. They're relying on me. And you'd dial up these emotions, wouldn't you?
Exactly that. I'm going to help them today. I'm going to be the star today. They need me. I'm going to really do my best to help every one of my friends on that pitch today. And when I could go into games thinking that instead of just don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. Oh my God, the power you get from it, and it's phenomenal.
Like tap into some emotions and some like the coach also said, Michael's like, you have to tap in the right aggression, and like sometimes before the game you have to make yourself aggressive. So in the game, in the duels, you're like some sort of different animal and like get also into it. So everything that can help you with it, and that helped me a lot in my journey. So I keep doing it now, and it's sort of I've gotten used to it a little bit. And like as you get older, you kind of like it makes it get easier when you tap into it or like sort of get into that alter ego of yours. But it sort of gets like I said as well, with if you get more confidence, you're like sort of easier to get into it. But I think for every young like athlete, or for example a goalkeeper as well, because it's always difficult as a young goalkeeper, I think that can be also a big inspiration and help for their journey.
Do you have like a game day routine or a warm-up routine? You always like to see how different goalies prepare, don't you? Like their warm-up. Is there anything you do on match day which is quite routine?
I would say on the day of the game, if we don't kick off at 12, if we like have a 2 o'clock or at night the kickoff, then I'd like to nothing too special at home, just get into a bit of like watching some video footage of like the opponents we're playing. Penalties is a big thing I'm watching before the game. And then when I get to the club here, then I just have a 5-minute discussion with the goalkeeper coach about what the plan is, about the penalties, or about like the game plan a little bit. Anything more than that at home, not really. I'm not really trying to go too much into the focus and into stuff, because I think if you do it too early, it can be like sometimes a lot in your mind and a lot in your head. So it's probably from the second I step into here to the training ground, then it's like getting into it a little bit more and more. And then when we arrive at Old Trafford, then I sort of like really get in, put my earphones in, like no one talk to me, get into the zone a little bit, try to do some bike stretching. It's quite a small gym there. I don't know if it's the same one as you had before. Stretching, some foam rolling, just to get physically ready as well a little bit.
So what's the go-to song to like pump you? We always, because we do a lot of online bike racing, and like the last 200 or 300 meters, we've got those songs.
Yeah, there's always one song. There's always one. Have you got one just before you take them out?
Yeah.
And you go, yep.
At the moment, it's called 7 Seconds. It's like I got it from TikTok actually. Like it's a small TikTok sound, but it's like kind of gets you into it a little bit, like you said. But the funny thing is, for me, it has to have a little bit of a build-up.
Yeah.
So when I put my earphones in the first couple of like half an hour, 40 minutes, it's really easy classical music a little bit more. I don't know if you know a lot about classical music, but my favorite artist probably is an Italian componist like Ludovico Einaudi. So first I'll try to listen to that to make me a little bit more relaxed and into the zone. And then, like you said, the last couple of songs is a bit more upbeat and get you into it.
That's Ben's favourite.
Ludovic. Yeah, Ludovic's my boy, mate. Yeah, it's my boy. How have you found the Premier League then? Because, like I say, you're 23 games in now. Have you been surprised by it? Is there anything that sticks out a bit more than the Belgian league? How are you finding it?
I think, it's quite an easy answer, to be honest. It's probably also the last couple of weeks, which has been talked about a lot, like probably set pieces and corners. And the physicality is just the biggest difference, I would say. I mean, the obvious thing is the quality, and like everything's faster, all the players are better and stuff. So that's the biggest thing. But probably for a goalkeeper, for us, it's that physicality. And
do you think that's the hardest part of being a goalkeeper? One of the hardest parts?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think I've done quite a good job at it, and I'm proud that it's like also one of my qualities, like which I'm, like you said, proud of. And I think I dealt with it pretty well, but it's just a matter of time before you get blocked out in certain situation where you can't really do anything else as a goalkeeper, and then you don't really get protected by the referee sometimes. But yeah, I get it. Like I think probably Arsenal started with it a little bit, and they got success out of it. So I get why people do it, why teams do it. We do it as well sometimes to make it as difficult as possible for the goalkeeper. But yeah, I would say that's probably one of the...
I was watching the Everton game a couple of weeks ago. Fantastic performance from yourself. And Everton, all their game plan was just sticking balls on top of you, set pieces, corners, free kicks. Everything was coming on top of you. And I thought it was a massive test for you because they've got some big lads in there, you know, your Tarkowskis and Branthwaites shutting you down, standing on you, trying to block you off. But you were on the front foot for everything, Senne. And I was watching with a smile on my face because it's like a proper goalkeeping performance. I love watching goalies make saves. I do. I love watching them sweep up and playing lovely balls out from the ball. But there's so few goalkeepers nowadays that can do the whole package and come for those. It takes real bravery. And I think some people think bravery is maybe sort of sticking your head in there and, not trying to get kicked or get hurt. But bravery in a goalkeeper sense is being on the front foot and showing everybody that you're coming for it. Mm-hmm. And it was a phenomenal performance, mate.
Thank you, Yeah, it was probably one of my best games of my starts here. Like you said, they tried everything, which I get as well. Like I said, teams are trying everything to get like successful at it, and you also see people scoring more and more from corners and set pieces. It's really uncomfortable sometimes with so many people in front of you, but you also kind of have to trust in yourself and trusting the trajectory of the ball, because sometimes you're so busy with the people around you which make you not focus on the task at hand, which is like trying to help out and get to the ball if possible. So also when you get into that zone, it also makes it easier to come.
What's your ideal start to a football match? Is it coming out, taking a cross or a punch, or making a 7 out of 10 save?
Probably coming out for a high ball.
It just sets you off lovely, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like also, like you said as well, like I love making saves and stuff, but it's just some of those things which normal people or who weren't goalkeeper themselves or who don't really know a lot about goalkeeping, they wouldn't really think a lot about it. But that's also what makes us, because we all, as goalkeepers, like you said, sometimes those are the most difficult ones.
Yeah.
And that's also where you take pride in, knowing that it's more difficult than you make it seem or than it looks.
Do you know what I think it is as well? Is because a lot of goalkeepers do struggle with aerial balls and it's not the best parts of their game. I think sometimes when you come and take a real good cross, you know when you've taken a real good cross and you have this warm sort of like feeling of like, yeah, I can do that.
And also the feeling you get from your teammates. Like,
oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
Because defenders, I wasn't the defender myself, but I could just imagine like, makes it so much easier for them as well.
When you come out, oh, cheers,
I guess from the opposition point of view as well, it seems obvious to say, but if they put a couple up there early on and they're dealt with, they're going to be less inclined to...
Yeah.
Oh, without doubt, mate. It takes the wind out of their sails like you wouldn't believe, because they know they're getting no joy from that today. No joy, because you're on the front foot and you're coming for everything.
Should we rewind to Belgium and... You've played, we were looking at it yesterday, weren't we? Saying you're talking, 50 or so men's kind of first team
Senior
games.
matches, yeah.
And then the phone rings and it's the big call. It's Man United.
Like that first moment, can you remember where you were, what you were doing when the first moment came?
Yeah, I think it was probably quite a long time ago, actually. Like, so I made the move on transfer deadline day, but yeah, it's like the first time I heard about it was a bit like, no, it's not possible. It's like you don't really believe it, to be honest. Like, so far out there, or
did you have people coming up to you and saying, Senne, you've got Man United are watching you?
Yeah, I mean, after that they came and watched a couple of times, and then it was more at Antwerp at my club. So then after the game they came and told me, like, a couple of people from Manchester were here and stuff, which was always like crazy to hear. But like, I mean, it's insane to hear. And the first time it was like, I couldn't really believe it. Like, probably till the summer I couldn't really believe they were interested in me. Like, of course I'm confident in myself, but still, like everyone said, I didn't really play that much games yet. I think I was a full starter for 1 year. So it was still a surprise that like in the summer they really went for me. And then on the deadline day it finally happened, which was also a special experience, like for it to wait that long. And I mean, we were in contact for like the whole summer, but yeah, it was a bit... in the end, everything went well, so I'm really happy.
When you get into deadline day, you think it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, but then again, like it's
probably
my character again. Like, I never really was too stressful or like too much. Oh shit, it's not going to happen. This and that. I was just like, if it doesn't happen now, I just keep going with Antwerp for however long it takes. Maybe in the new year, in like the winter transfer period, they come again, or in next summer they come again. Like, it never was for me like it had to have happened in the summer. Of course, it was always nice that it could have been. And then on the last day when I came here and it was finalized, and kind of sunk in that it really happened. But before that, it was always a bit of a dream and always a bit of like skepticism that like, it's not really gonna happen, is it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a little bit like that, which is also probably a good thing that I didn't really, wasn't really too nervous about it, or like, I mean, the people next to me also kept me calm and quiet, because I actually played it the first 3-4 games with Antwerp in this season. So I had to like deliver and focus on that. So it was really important that I just was in the situation where I was thinking about like, maybe it happened, maybe it don't, but I'm just gonna focus on now and here.
What's your relationship with social media like? Because when you sign for a team like Man United, you know that everything's going to gain so much traction. You're going to get followers all over the place.
How many Instagram followers did you get overnight?
Oh, yeah, ridiculous amounts, guaranteed.
Yeah, I think I started with like 10K, and then after, I mean, the first week it was almost like 700-800. Yeah. So when I had the conversations about coming here, they were warning me a lot, especially the media guys, about like,
be careful.
Manchester United is a different animal, like it's one of a kind, this and that, and you think and you believe them, but it's always different when you're really into it and when you're in the situation. I think, I'm quite a lot on social media, but I try to not really use it as much as for football's sake, or like get into those people who talk about football. It's more of like in my other interests, like other sports, like I said, or friends of mine who still follow them, but not really, because like it's a big thing I say as well. When it's all positive, it's nice, and to hear those things and read those things, it's all nice. But also, you also have to look through it a little bit. That when it goes a bit less, they can be on you as faster or even faster. So I kind of like want to get away from all of that, even if it's positive. I don't really want to watch it too much.
This episode is brought to you by Expedia. One of the best things about being on holiday is that feeling of total freedom. No alarms, no meetings, no to-do list. Just waking up and doing whatever you want. It's been a busy year for the Fozcast. Nearly 100 episodes recorded, which means plenty of miles on the clock. Motorways, flights, and different hotels. So sometimes you just need a bit of me time, which is why I have just booked a 4-day golf trip with the boys to Portugal. And Expedia makes these spontaneous moments easier and more affordable with bundle and save. No matter when you book multiple items for your trip, flights, hotels, and car rentals, you can save. And if you're a member, you can book one part of your trip first, then add more right up until your last day of travel. It's never too late to save. Book now with Expedia. So you signed for the club then, and Tom Heaton, has he been the senior father figure to you? Has he taken you under his wing and looking after you?
Yeah. He's been really, really helpful. It's helped me a lot, probably the first couple of weeks especially, to get me like eased in and to get me like, it's always nice to have someone who knows so much about Premier League and about this club and about everything in between, to help me out when I need to, but also to help me relax and like joke around a little bit sometimes. Coming from it's always also a good feeling. So
I remember when I signed and Tom was here already. He was a young lad coming through, and he was like technically, Senne, honestly, I don't know what he's like now because I haven't seen Tom train for 5 years. Technically, I still would say he's probably the best goalie I ever saw. He was so clean and tidy with his movement patterns, everything was all in line and all in shape and all together, and his hands were so clean. I just kept thinking, my gosh, you have got all sorts of ability. You really have. He was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, still today at like almost 40 years old, you can still see him on training. So I can only imagine in his like prime how good he was. Which like for a Belgian guy, he didn't really have the recognition probably in the world. But like, especially I think that's the most important thing. Just every teammate you speak about of his, or like still teammates of now or today on training, the way they talk about him. Probably on the pitch his qualities, but probably even more so off the pitch and as a guy he is.
Yeah, I think in the world of football, Tom Heaton's got a stellar name, hasn't he?
I tell you what, actually, we did an episode with Tom in here, funnily enough, and I bet you this is the calmest goalkeeping department in world football. Because Tom's a kind of thinker, isn't he? And a smart cookie as well.
He's a scholar, mate. He's a scholar. He is. He's just chill, isn't he? He's lovely.
Yeah, I mean, like, probably why we've been so like our friendship has grown that much because we're probably a bit similar as well. In every aspect, I can see a lot of myself in him, and the same way around. He tells me a lot of times like, "You're so much like me when I was younger and stuff," and still now to this day. So he knows probably what I'm thinking in every situation almost. So that's also where he helps me in maybe more difficult situations, or when I'm doing really well, trying to help me in those situations as well, not to get too much outside my head and stuff.
Who are your goalkeeping idols growing up then?
Probably, I mean, as a Belgian guy, I always say Courtois with his abilities, but probably the most one wasn't Neuer for me. Growing up was when he was in his prime, and also like just his calmness and his all-round ability. I think he didn't really have any like lesser points in his game.
No flaws.
Like, no flaws. So. Which I also like take pride in, and as a goalkeeper, I want to have myself also try to have limited flaws as possible. So I think probably him.
We went to Monaco and did a podcast with Eric Dyer.
Yeah.
Right, and we got about an hour in. It was brilliant, like today. Right, and Eric said, "We're about an hour in now, and you haven't asked me about Manuel," and he was bubbling with excitement, wasn't he? To get into,
he said, "There's very few times in my career," he said, in fact, hardly ever, "I feel like I've been surrounded by greatness." And he's telling this story about Manuel Neuer, and we're buzzing. Like, honestly, he's like frothing. He's so excited. Yeah. And he said, honestly, Ben, he said, you've never seen anything like it. Training was, in games, he was phenomenal. Training, it was ridiculous.
He said he could play outfield, he could play centre back.
Do anything.
He said he could play centre back.
The calmest man, the nicest man in the world, rides his bike to training and back most days, like 70k and all that.
Which makes you love him even more.
Oh, mate, what a guy. What an absolute hero. I agree. There's a save, right? You need to search it up. He did a save against Arsenal in the Champions League, probably about 8 years ago, something like that. Oh my God! There's a header from I don't know who, right?
I know.
Oh, mate, when he stops it. Yeah, exactly that.
Goes back and then
that strength, that range there, Senna, is just like you're either born with that or you're just a freak. Like it's ridiculous either way. And I remember watching, just thinking, nah, like I can't do that. I can't do that. How are you able to do that? That's just genius. Yeah. Absolute genius.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the one thing that Senna has done that you haven't, and that is put the ball in the opposition net?
Yes, we saw this clip and we watched it a few times yesterday, didn't we? So you're playing for Club Brugge.
Yep.
It's a youth team match. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's like under 19 Champions League, Youth League. It's called.
Yeah. Go on, take it away.
Yeah. So it was it's like the Champions League for a youth team. So I think it was our last game in the group stage, and we needed to draw it to get through to the next round, and it was 2-1 for Madrid in the last minute, and it was a corner kick. So I just got up and it was just like, I don't know why, but like a feeling where the ball was going to be, like another experience, like it just me with the penalty taker, which is the guy the Kuiper who plays in Brighton now, the left back. So yeah, he whipped it in. I didn't even think about where I was going and where I was heading. It just happens sometimes.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, because it was a good header as well.
It was a good header, mate.
Yeah, it was a good header.
And honestly, I'm not really in general the best like header ever. So it was just like in that moment, not really thinking about anything, being in the zone, and yeah, it was probably my first moment that made me a bit more. I mean, it went kind of viral at the moment.
Internet famous.
Yeah, internet famous, like you said. So it's a really nice
I
feeling.
I wouldn't expect goalies to know, but it's almost like you don't know how to celebrate when every goal that I've seen a goalkeeper score, they don't know what to do. They just run as fast as they can in a certain direction, don't they?
Mate, you'd 90th minute, you'd lose your shit. I wouldn't care what I do, to be honest with you. Hopefully they all just piled on you quick, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best celebration, but in the end, I just celebrated with the whole bench, and the whole team was just there. No one could. If you see all the faces on the pictures, like everyone was looking like crazy because no one really, could believe what happened.
So, is there any chance we're going to see a 94th minute if United are losing 2-1 last minute, and you're going to be sneaking up?
I mean,
again?
actually, like since then, every time we've been behind, every last 5 minutes, I hope we get a corner, and I could go up front because. After that moment, probably I've went up 2 times or so in my career, and 2 times I touched the ball on that situation.
Right.
It's not really a chance, but I just maybe I had it through or something.
Diverted it.
So I don't know. It's like because I had the goal, and then after you think every time the ball's coming to you, or just like the confidence in yourself in that ability. So like I don't want to be behind ever, but then if there was a possibility to get a corner from it.
The one I feel sorry for is it was in lockdown, wasn't it, with Alisson? When he
West Brom, Sam Johnson.
Yeah, and there was no, he had his moment stole from him.
No crowd to watch it.
That's really bad. I mean, you see with Trubin a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, Benfica, unbelievable. It don't get much better, does it?
So like, kind of gave me flashbacks a little bit of.
It was.
His was probably against the first team Real Madrid.
Oh my gosh! You could happily retire after that. I could happily retire.
You mentioned you're a Man United fan growing up. If you could pick a player from your youth to play with today, who would you say? Do you know what? When I was a kid, I loved watching him.
From a prime Man United
team. Get him our team. Have a little cameo.
I mean, it's a pretty easy answer, to be honest. Like it's always going to be Ronaldo for me. I mean, like I said it before as well, like growing up I always followed my brother in everything, the things he followed or like the teams he supported, and he was a big United and Ronaldo fan, so I always followed him in that. So, and like you said, it was like prime United 08, 09, 07 when I was like really growing up. So
Yeah, it's a pretty easy answer, to be honest. But then again, like, I'm really also, like I said before about Kobe Bryant and stuff, like into the mentality and the mental part of the game. And then the stories you hear about like Roy Keane and stuff, and those people also wants you to play with them as well and have you in your team. I don't know if you never played with him. You probably.
I played a reserve team game with him, Senne, when I first signed.
I mean, yeah, as a young goalkeeper, I don't think it's the best thing to play with. Yeah.
Listen to this, right? So it was a bad time for Roy Keane. He was just about to leave the club, and we played a reserve team match. I think it was away at Bury or somewhere like that, right? And he didn't want to be there. Okay, he didn't. And I remember I've got the ball and I've rolled it out to him, and even all the Bury players just stayed away from him because I think don't need any of this smoke. All right, rolled the ball to him. And because I didn't roll it quite quick enough, he literally put his foot on the ball, looked at me, and I thought, oh, nah. This is horrible. Can I go out on loan, please? I just want to go out on loan. This is horrible. Yeah, he was a scary bloke, mate.
I mean, yeah, Tom said it as well, like Tom Heaton, when he just came into the first team and then having to train with the first team, if those type of players you have to train with. And like, we were talking about it because if you see young players now coming in the first team and we kind of like give them a hard time, or like when it's not going well, you try to be like assertive and hard on them a little bit to help them in the end. But then again, he said like that's part of your growing curve as a young goalkeeper or as a young player in general. Like, and then he was talking about when he was growing up and getting in the first team, playing with Roy Keane and stuff. Yeah. Do you think they took it easy on him? Not really. No. So
even players like Vidic, mate. Vidic was at you. If you were doing six-a-sides, you got to think of how competitive those teams were.
You have to be if you're at the top of the.
Wayne Rooney, just like six-a-sides was the be-all and end-all. Senne, I promise you. Yeah. If you lost a six-a-side tournament on a Friday afternoon, mate, you're getting powdered. If you're goalie and you let a couple soft ones in, you're getting powdered. Honestly, it was brutal. It was.
Yeah.
One player you might have learnt a bit from that's got a bit of Premier League experience. Simon Mignolet. So you was with him at Club Brugge. What did you learn from him?
Yeah, I think he came to Bruges when I was just getting into the first team. So yeah, from like always growing up, such a big name, like you say, in Belgium and in the Premier League. And then learning from him, I think I was with him like 3-4 years. Also, I think 1.5 years second behind him. So yeah, like you said, learning a lot from him. Those first couple of years were probably like when I was just getting into it, was just like couldn't believe I was training with him. And then after a while, you start getting used to it, and then you start like stealing with your eyes a little bit. I mean, the time in Bruges, still now, his years there were just incredible. I think we've ever seen a goalkeeper having the success he did in Belgium. So I mean, in the games, it was just crazy to watch just how many saves he made. But I think the most impressive thing for me was next to the pitch, the way he handled himself in the gym, in the fitness, like food, nutrition wise, like his body in tip top shape. Because I think his knee, when he came, his right or left knee, I don't know, he was like hampering him a little bit, but still like being able to perform on that level with not being able to be 100%, because that's also one of the things he taught me. Like, probably in his career, he said to me, 10% of the games he was actually fully healthy.
Oh yeah,
like,
the 90% not fully fit.
Which I mean, a lot of football players talk about it, and me myself, you know about it as well. Like, you need to be able to perform, and to sometimes your 100% health is not the most important thing. It's about being able to perform and stay in the squad as a goalkeeper, especially because he said when you don't, and when you miss one game and the other guy plays well, can be your career can be, I mean, switched over. So
English is phenomenal, mate.
Hampering.
That's why I said it. I heard you say hampering.
Yeah, good word.
Yeah, I'm like, from the young age, I always been into America and like England, and always watching everything in English. So it's helped me a lot. Like, I mean, listening and understanding are almost perfect English, but then speaking is a little bit more difficult. But since I've been here, I've had to speak way more English. So I think in that department, it's helped me really a lot to like.
So with where you're, because Belgium's quite interesting, isn't it? Because there's French and
don't get into it.
Dutch and Flemish,
German as well a little bit.
So what growing up, what would you have spoken?
So with me, it was Dutch and French. I probably let's say 50% can speak French. Right. In school, you just get taught it from a young age, because you have to, which also is good for because there are a lot of French people still here as well in the dressing room. So yeah, it's Dutch and French, and then English as well. But like English is way more easy because you see it just on social media, in movies.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. So I think, especially in Belgium, most of the people in Belgium speak pretty well English. Because you just get brought up with it a little bit.
We've got some training ground quickfires for you, Senne, okay, about some of your Man United teammates, all right? Who's got the hardest shot in training?
Benjamin Šeško.
Has he?
Yeah, he's
sneaky.
It's crazy sometimes. Like, you know, as a goalkeeper, when people are like 5 yards in front of you, and you don't really want to swat the ball.
Yeah. Don't swat it.
He still does it sometimes, and I'm just thinking, easy, relax. But yeah, I would say him, yeah.
It's good. Who makes the ball wobble the most?
Probably Bruno.
Yeah. He's got that little,
free kicks as well, I mean, just this kicking ability is crazy.
Yeah, it's good. Who's the best trainer?
I mean, I'd probably say Bruno again.
Yeah.
I think that's why he's been the way he is all these years. Is just the guy you see on the pitch every Saturday, you also see on training every day.
Yeah, class.
I think that makes him one of the most.
Who's the most competitive player?
The Wayne Rooney of the modern day in five-a-sides.
No one's built like Wayne Rooney. They're not.
I mean, I'd say Tom Heaton is probably in like small sides. If he loses the game, you can't talk to him for the rest of the day. Sometimes.
No,
seriously. He makes like one mistake in them. When his team loses, it's like,
Tom, you little baby. What a baby. I love it. Who's the funniest teammate?
Funniest teammate. Probably got Tom Heaton again. Personally, for me, it's I don't like these because I say a lot of time Tom Heaton and then I give him praise, which I don't really want to do that much because he'll say it to me then in the next weeks.
No, we'll just clip it and send it in. Don't worry.
And final one: who is the one player you want on your team in a five-a-side?
You can't say Tom Heaton.
I thought he was going to say Bruno. I thought he was going to say Bruno.
I'll take myself in goal then. I'd say Amad Diallo probably.
Yeah.
Small, really fast, agile. So.
He's got a bit of
he's really good.
Bite, hasn't he, as well?
Surprised me a lot since I've came here.
Yeah, very good. Senne, that was absolutely world class. Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate it. English is phenomenal.
Yeah, hampering.
What a goalie. Up the Fozcast. Cheers, Senne.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed the latest episode of the Fozcast. Don't forget to give us a follow on Spotify. Up the Fozcast.